The Cheeseboy 628 Show, starring Cheeseboy 628.
Hey YouTube, what's going on? This is Cheeseboy628 here today giving you a Theory Thursday. Today's Theory Thursday has been requested for quite a few weeks now, and I thought time to honor this request of Kyurem-Black. Now I'm guessing you guys want me to present my theory for what tier I believe Kyurem-Black will be in this gen, and well, for that, my opinion is that Kyurem-Black will definitely not be UU this gen, definitely higher, and it's going to be in BL or OU. And I definitely don't think Kyurem-B will be as big of an OU threat as it was last gen for a variety of reasons that I'll explain later, so I think it's probably going to stay in the BL tier. Now a couple of people I've talked to about the BL tier definitely don't like it because they know that because it's in BL it can't be used in UU under any circumstance and must be used in OU. But it is to symbolize that BL is where the Pokemon is too tough to be in UU, but it's not necessarily the strongest threat in OU, but definitely viable. And that will be what I'm trying to prove in this Theory Thursday, and I have to stress that I do not believe Kyurem-B will be UU or lower anytime this gen. Now without further ado, let's check out Kyurem-Black's stats. And speaking of stats, the main point that Kyurem-Black is so amazing is because of its amazing stats. Seeing its base stat total of 700 is already astounding, seeing as it's the third highest base stat total among all pokes in existence. Not to mention it's only 20 points lower than Arceus and only beat out or tied with a couple of Megas. Kyurem-B's lowest stat is its special defense with base 90, which is definitely nothing to laugh at, especially with a base 125 HP stat and then a base 100 defense stat giving it tremendous bulk. Its base 95 speed stat is said to be crippling toward it, but it's definitely plenty usable in my opinion. It has a base 120 special attack stat, which looks like nothing compared to its attack stat, but just remember that all of Arceus' stats are base 120 and is deemed one of the best Ubers in the metagame, and we're just talking about Kyurem-Black being an OU threat. And we haven't even gotten to Kyurem-Black's best stat yet, being its attack stat. Being base 170 is simply incredible. After all, it is tied for 4th strongest attack stat in the entire game, tied with Mega Garchomp, and then only being beaten out by Deoxys Attack, Mega Heracross, and Mewtwo X. Now, Kyurem-B certainly looks fantastic with these amazing stats, but what's the reason that it's only going to be limited to OU then? Well, it unfortunately lacks a decent physical move pool. While its special move pool is decent, thinking about its physical move pool, its best set when running a choiced variant is Iron Head, Fusion Bolt, and then probably Dragon Claw and Outrage. Now this is definitely still a viable move set, but you'd think if you'd have the burden of being at least part ice that you'd have some strong ice stab that you could use to your benefit. Well, unfortunately, Kyurem-B being the strongest physical part ice Pokemon in the entire game only gets one physical ice move, and that would be Freeze Shock. Now while Freeze Shock is certainly a powerful move with base 140 power, it has the same utilization as you would for a Solar Beam without Sun, where it needs one turn to charge up. So of course a White Herb set can be viable, but then you're out of luck for any other item used for the rest of the game, and you're probably not going to be able to use Freeze Shock for the rest of the game either. Now it's not just limited ice moves that cripple Kyurem-B, but it's also being part ice that can cripple it. Ice only resists itself and has 5 weaknesses. 3 of these weaknesses, being Steel, Rock, and Fighting, are because of its ice typing, and of course because of being weak to Rock, it is weak to Stealth Rock, and just by entering the field will lose 25% of its health, which is definitely important when it can be known for being a very bulky Pokemon. Now one more point as to why Kyurem-B can be very viable in OU is, as I've mentioned earlier, where it has amazing stats all around, so therefore it can be very versatile. Now Kyurem-B can be many different sets, such as a defensive set meaning Sub Dragon Tail and even using Roost, which it has full access to. You could use a special variant because of a very decent special attack stat with a decent special move pool, and you can of course run a physical set because of just its amazing amazing attack stat alone. You can also run a choiced variant, which most people prefer choice ban because of its sheer power is enough to OHKO a ton of the metagame. Now there's one calculation I definitely wanted to point out because it just shows Kyurem-B's tremendous bulk despite having a decent amount of weaknesses. A fully offensive stab secret sword coming from a Keldeo does at most 84% to a just 4 HP invested Kyurem-B when it comes to bulk. And I believe that is just incredible, seen as an offensive Kyurem-B without needing a ban can easily press Outrage and just OHKO a Keldeo from full health. So that will conclude my theory for this week. Kyurem-B has some amazing stats, but unfortunately its move pool does not do it enough justice. Please feel free to leave suggestions for next week's Theory Thursday in the comments section below, and thank you all for watching. Like, comment, sub, and until later, peace.